We're here at the McKinley Dipson because we just saw Mortal Engines. I'm Dave.
I'm Pat.
And we're in a lot because
we're a lot of critics.
So Patrick, did you like this movie?
I liked it a lot. I did. It may be a guilty pleasure, I think, to some people, or it might be considered something like that. I think it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Okay. I did like it. Did you like it?
I'm not really. Kind of like 50-50. There are things I liked about it, but I kind of felt myself getting bored a little too often, and I kind of felt myself getting distracted. I wanted to love it. I wanted to like it.
For me, though, I love steampunk. I love the kind of mechs and everything that kind of goes into like a dystopian future. So for me, I loved it. That's why I love it. But I realize it's not perfect. But
I don't think it should have bombed as hard as it did. I feel like there is an audience for this, and the news spread too quickly, and there were too many people who maybe had a lukewarm response. But that doesn't mean there's not an audience out there, people who really would like it.
Me.
So, acting.
Not very good.
No?
There was, maybe one?
Hugo Weaving. Amazing. Hugo Weaving is always amazing. But everybody else?
I mean, the lead, I don't know her name, but the lead was pretty good.
She was okay.
Yeah, I mean, she kept it interesting.
Yeah.
Everyone else, So, music, the soundtrack of this, what do you think, Dave?
It was serviceable. It was fine. It was dramatic at times, but I couldn't hum anything for you right now. I couldn't sing
I think there was maybe like an end credit song that kind of jumped out to me. There's one or two maybe kind of unique, more steampunky type of feeling songs, but nothing that impressive.
No.
Now, as far as directing goes, what's his name?
Christian Rivers.
So this is his first time. Yeah.
He worked on Peter Jackson's everything, all his movies.
Lord of the Rings, Hobbit. I'm sure there's
King Kong even.
King Kong, yeah.
The fact that he was a special effects guy is very, very obvious because...
The visuals are stunning.
Yeah.
The one thing, the big thing holding this movie together is the visuals and kind of the world as well, but mostly the visuals. I mean, they're stunning.
Yeah.
I want to live in that world just based off of that alone.
As much as I'm lukewarm on most of the other things about this movie, the visuals were just fantastic, and that's the thing that kept me engaged and that kept me interested is the design, the costumes.
Costumes were amazing, really cool, really fitting. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
Just the whole kind of world together. I wouldn't say the world building in terms of like directing and everything else was great, but the visuals and the costumes within the world, all that, great.
Patrick, during this movie, I kept having the same thought over and over again.
And we walked out of the movie theater, and I'm pretty sure we said it to each other.
Yeah, this would be a lot more fun as a video game.
It screams video game. It has video game potential.
Yes.
Why they turned it into a movie, I don't know. It's okay as a movie, but this would have been a great video game.
Yeah, there was basically like stages in the movie where it's like, oh, here's the stealth stage, here's the flying stage, this is the escaping part, and it made me want to play it.
Yeah. It was like it had notes of BioShock, both in terms of where the story went. It had notes of Dishonored. Ace Combat flying.
There was a nod to Resident Evil 4 in there where I'm like, BioShock, Resident Evil. There's all these things, and it was cool, but it only reminded me of how much I enjoyed those games.
Just being a backseat passenger
for
a movie like this was kind of frustrating, but
yes,
it was cool to relax and see something, but I would have much rather had this been a more in-depth video game.
Overall, I'm still kind of right in the middle, but I can recommend it to people who like sci-fi visuals, steampunk visuals, BioShock video game, like interesting worlds. It's a really, like, if you can catch it streaming somewhere, check it out because there's a lot to look at. There's a lot to explore. It's not going to keep you engaged for the characters of the story, but it's really pretty and really interesting to look at. And for that, I think I do give it a recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, if you like visuals, if you like the world that we're kind of describing to you, definitely check it out. It's not something that is a must-watch, maybe a rental. Definitely if it's streaming, give it a shot. If you don't like it, turn it off. No harm done. I could see myself, having kids in the future and having, like a 10 or 15-year-old really enjoy this and like sitting down and watching it with them and still being able to enjoy it because, despite a lot of, typical movie tropes that were in it, despite a lot of, the negatives that were in there, overall, I felt like it was an enjoyable movie. If you like visuals, if you like the steampunk, then you'll probably buckle up for the ride and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. It is 7 degrees out, but
we are not cold.
Yeah.
It's a nice beach.
We love movies, and that gives us the power and the warmth and the energy to do things like this.
Yes.
And if you can hit that like and subscribe and do all the YouTube things, it means the world to us.
And it means we'll go do more of this out in the freezing cold.
We'll keep coming out here.
And we'll pretend like we're not cold.
Even though we are.
Don't say that. You're not supposed to.
Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time.
On A Lot of Critics. A Lot of Critics!
Please subscribe!
A Lot of Critics!
Subscribe!